Hi, everyone. I am here with someone who I wrote about in my book, a really good travel friend of mine, Romi. Thanks for coming and talking to me, Romi.
Thanks for inviting me. It's good to catch up with you.
It's amazing, isn't it? Because it was so long ago that we met.
It was a very long time ago. I miscalculated it today when I was talking about it. I'm like 60, oh no, 18 years. It's been a while.
It's
Long time.
amazing. It's amazing. Yeah. And we had such a good time in Vietnam.
It was fantastic. It was the start of my trip. I know it was a bit later for you. Yeah, it was wonderful. It set the tone very nicely despite what happened.
Yes. Well, because when I was writing the book, I got back in touch with you and you helped jog my memory, which was really helpful. And I actually put some of your email back home into the book as, yeah, so that was really helpful.
Oh, that's so good. I'm very excited to read it. That's obviously very cool to me. Have anything mentioned in a book, but I'm very excited. And it was really nice for me to go back down that memory lane and then find my old emails, which are normally very painful to read, and just remember that time. It was just so long ago. It was awesome to relive it.
Yeah.
And
And
congratulations, by the way, on your book. Very
thank you.
exciting.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah, it's been 3 years in the making. So it's
Mm.
nice. And I always thought like it probably doesn't warrant a book, and then to finish it is a good feeling. But one of the things I really liked about you straight away is that you liked books and reading as well.
Loved
So
it. Yes. And very
and
excited. I think at the time I was talking about how I liked writing, and I'm just very impressed that you've done it and continued to do it, and it's become your life. I still read, but I definitely didn't proceed with writing, and I think you're incredible.
well, we'll see how the book goes. But what do you remember of the day in the Trang where we met Paula and Adam?
Oh, all right. I'm trying to bring it all back. I think we met. I think I knew you from the previous town that we had been in,
Yeah.
and I think we met them either both of them on the bus overnight, or we'd met
Yeah.
one of them before. Yeah, we ran into them overnight. I think I knew Adam from the previous town. And I just think we had, and please jump in, I just think we had like no sleep on this bus ride, or it was a very bumpy, funny, dodgy bus ride like they all are. I can't remember how long we were there, but we just got to New Trang early one morning, found a place to stay. I don't even think we could check in at the time, could we? Like we just left our bags.
There was a complication around check-in. Oh, but Adam was like, "Why don't we just stay up and go to the beach?"
Seems like a good idea.
And
uh,
one thing led to another.
Yeah, and I think we spent the whole day at the beach, and I remember there were like we just had a nice spot where we had like day beds and umbrella coverage, and just spent the whole day drinking, if I recall correctly, or a significant part of it drinking. I think it was the
Yeah.
first beer I ever had in the ocean, if I can. I mean, a lot of firsts
Oh,
that day, but I just remember drinking in the ocean, being like, cool.
were we drinking beers actually in the ocean?
Yeah. Yes. I don't think I shared that. Well, I did. I definitely did that because I remember. I just remember doing it. Maybe it was just me.
Oh, wow. Because I remember you made friends with that little girl and you both put seaweed crowns on your hair and
Yeah.
you had the rubber rings. And I've got the photos as well. And then there was that really drunk Vietnamese guy who went into the ocean fully clothed and then like did like a prance dance on the shore.
I absolutely remember that and was so happy to see your photos because it's just one of the, I mean, because I lost my camera as well, so I didn't have any of mine. But it was, yeah, that one was sort of imprinted, but I hadn't seen it in a while, so it was really cool to see that.
And we got ridiculously sunburned.
So sunburnt. Did you have blisters? I had blisters.
Yeah, I know you had blisters. I don't think
Mm.
I don't recall blisters, but it was, bad, bad. But your sunburn, I think, was the worst. Probably maybe because you were, yeah, the style of bathers or something.
Yeah, and I mean, I haven't, it's such a bad Australian to let that happen to you. Like, I'm normally so good at that. I feel like we applied sunscreen a bunch of times, so it was just all
Yeah, but we
day.
were probably quite drunk. And also, it was like, even though it wasn't like 100 years ago, even 16 years ago, still slightly different. Like the risks you take around sun, like we really understand the message now. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, yeah, it's different. And like that age as well, you're just a
yeah,
bit dumb.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So we kept drinking, and then we went back to the hotel, but not to
Mm,
go to bed, just to have a shower and then go out for dinner.
yep.
And went out for dinner, saw the wedding on the way.
Yeah. And the
And when
bit that actually remind me about the wedding, because I don't remember the wedding that clearly. I know must have already had a few drinks.
well, we'd been day drinking all day on no
Mm,
sleep, so by that point it was all pretty hazy. But I have photos of us with a wedding party.
so good.
And again, the email was we I was probably taking photos, and they called us in and were like, "Come and celebrate with us." So we like danced with them, and
Oh,
then
that's
and
so
then just kept
funny.
going. And then we went to, I think it was called the Sailing Club or something, because I had my Lonely Planet from 2006, and like I looked at the pictures online, and I was pretty sure I could identify this Australian run sort of place
So
that we
good. Great
went to.
tracking back. Yeah.
Detective work, and we continued drinking, got completely wasted. That's my child.
Nice.
Yes, Claire. I have to open my door.
That's okay. Go for it.
I have to edit this bit out.
All
Um,
good. The magic of drinking.
yeah. So this is little Claire. Claire, we're just telling a story. This is Romi. We're just telling a story.
Nice
Claire
to
loves
see
stories.
you.
So then we kept drinking, and then it was on the way home where trouble occurred.
Yeah, it was. And I think just in terms of when we went back to the hotel, they always would take your passport and keep it at the reception desk overnight for the most part. Like I hadn't handed it back to me. And I just remember going up. We were on like the fifth floor, like pretty high up, or it felt high. Showering, being ready to go, and them just handing it back. And I thought I should run upstairs. I think you guys probably put your passports back. I just, in that moment, couldn't be bothered going back upstairs, and that was why I was carrying my passport on the way out. Then my memory of what actually happened was like just pretty brief because my shoulder was so burnt. I was holding my handbag. I didn't even have it on my shoulders. So as far as I just remember a motorcycle coming up. I think it rode between us on the sidewalk, like between the group of us, and just
Yeah, it went up onto the sidewalk. I was
yeah.
behind you.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, and then that was
and you got robbed.
I got robbed. Yeah, my handbag was gone, and the most important thing was the passport. But just by chance, I was carrying just my phone, my wallet, which had my student card, which I think we'd been using. I just had nothing. I had nothing.
Terrible. Yeah. And how long did it take to get? Because you had to get an emergency passport, didn't you? So all your travel plans went out the window.
All my travel plans went out the window. I think there was an option of getting an emergency passport, but that would have I would have had to fly to Bangkok and then home. I had just said goodbye to everyone and said, I'm going to be gone for a year. I was like, it was too embarrassing. I can't go back to Sydney. So I just stayed in Vietnam while I got sorted, and then had a proper passport, but that took a month. And my mum and dad were back in Sydney running around to my uni, signing, like forging my signature on things to try and prove my identity to get me this passport. And yeah, it's just for the whole thing.
So stressful.
But you
Yeah.
guys were amazing. You guys were so great. Just the three of you that were there that night just saved me in like different ways over the coming weeks. I know obviously you were
Well, I don't know if we were that great, because according to the evidence I have, Paula and I lent you some money and then kept going.
Oh, but that's you can't stay there. No, that was amazing. I remember Paula gave me 20 USD, and that is a lot, but it was a lot at that time. And in
Yeah.
Vietnam, like that was amazing. I just needed cash to get started. I was transferring you money, and then you were getting it out for me, which was super helpful. I know Adam chased the motorcycle guys down the road. Like everyone was, I just felt very taken care of. And I think for something that could have been scary, I just felt like I just landed in a good place with good people, so it was really nice.
Yeah. There was some silver linings, but really it was pretty bad. To every traveler's nightmare, really.
Yeah. It's not
Passport stolen.
not ideal. And then I think I had to go to I had the same guy was driving me to the embassy each time I went. I was just going every day for a different thing. I don't even remember now what could have possibly taken so much, but it was just like, oh, I've got a weekend off. Luckily, everything's closed. I can just relax and actually do some sightseeing because I was just running errands.
When we caught up in Ho Chi Minh City, you said to me that it was like catch-22. You had to prove your identity to get like a card, but to get a card, you had to prove your identity, and so you couldn't kind of.
It was
took
so
long.
circular, and I was reading that at the time. Like it's just
Oh, were you reading
hilarious. I was
Fortune
reading
at
it.
the
Yeah, it
time?
was a book that I'd picked up on that trip. I think they had those amazing photocopied books for
Yes,
like
they
a
did.
couple bucks.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
did. Well, that was how you and I bonded. You don't remember, but I remember because I remember reading The Penguin. So, how did that experience kind of shape the rest of your travels? Did you lose trust a bit?
I think I was lucky in that like trust wasn't broken for me, so it wasn't a con, it wasn't like a physical, it wasn't something that happened to me physically, it wasn't someone that conned me or that I didn't lose trust in people. I think I was just really lucky that I wasn't conned. I wasn't like, it wasn't a con job, it wasn't violent. It was someone taking my bag, but I was more careful with my belongings, but it
Mm,
didn't really change the way that I felt like the trust that I had placed in people was just like returned
mm,
to me so much in that experience. So it ended up being, it wasn't as traumatic as it could have been.
mm. And do you reckon travel is as good now as it was when we traveled?
Oh, how can it be? How can it be? It was so, I don't know, like you were just going up places, you didn't know anything, you hadn't booked anything, you hadn't seen it all on TikTok. Like it
Yeah.
has to be, like I thought it was pretty crazy. We could be in touch with people in, like online while we were away, but now just to be in touch that whole time, just be completely different. I think it's got to be, it was wild
Yeah.
back then.
Yeah, it was. And I mean, that's kind of how we met because Paula walked up and was like, do you guys know where you're going to stay or anything? And we were like, nah, come along.
So good. So
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, it was kind of magical. And no, because I had no Facebook. Did you have Facebook or anything at the time you traveled?
That is a
I
good
didn't.
question. I think I got it later. I think I got it
Yeah.
later in that trip when I hit Europe.
Yeah, that was the same. I ended up in London and yeah,
And it
so
had just become a thing. I think they'd only just opened it up. Like you couldn't
yeah,
get one before then. I remember we
no,
would write down people's email addresses in a little notebook, and I asked for someone's email, and he was like, "I'll write my name and how you met me because you won't remember what this is soon." And I was like, "Oh no, as if." And I'm so glad he did because you just like, who is this person?
amazing, amazing.
Yeah.
Time of our lives.
It was fantastic. It was really good. And I
Yeah.
can't believe, yeah, it's amazing. Thank you for organizing this. It's been great to speak to you.
Yeah, if we can get Paula, it would be fantastic because that was the original plan to have the four of us back together. But it's
Yeah.
also been amazing to hear your story and how you recollect it because many people, I'm sure, will say, "How did you remember after 16 years?" And you don't forget some things. Some memories are so deeply formed in your psyche because it was just so. Oh my God, I think yeah, for great memories and bad memories, I think they leave a pretty deep imprint.
Yeah, and when they're two in lockstep like that, just having this fantastic, incredible day that we love so much, and then that happening at the end of it and going, oh my God, what have I done? Or what have I let happen? Yeah, it was a lot. It's
Yeah.
definitely
Do you still
imprinted.
love to travel?
I do still love to travel. I have a little one too, so getting to do it a bit less often than before and in a very different way. It's a bit resorty now. But I'll get back to it. I'll get intrepid again, hopefully.
Yeah. As our kids get older, we can do more stuff.
Yeah. And they'll be
Yeah.
good little adventurers. We'll do
Yeah.
fun stuff with them.
All right. Thanks for talking to me, Romy.
Thanks, Jess. Chat soon.